How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to SeaBed. I'm sure as you're privy to at this point, I lost my hard drive last week. That was with a little bit of a gap. I actually lost an episode I recorded of this. It was actually really sad because my hard drive literally died after I just finished like editing it. I was trying to compile the video when my hard drive gave out. So yeah, unfortunately we're gonna be doing a little bit of replay in this. However, this game is so confusing, maybe it'll be good. Maybe I'll pick up on something I missed last time. It's been a bit. I've had a lot going on, but if I remember correctly, we're picking things up on Takako's route right after we were having a fling in Sachiko's path, where I'm trying to convince myself that Narasaki is no, is it Narasaki the doctor? Like the doctor, I'm not sure she's real. I don't think anything's real. But I'm just blathering through trying to figure things out. So we're now back to Takako, and I'm going to figure out if I can figure out if anyone else is here is real too. Because we have the biggest connection that I'm kind of looking for is the fact that this building up in the mountains where Sachiko is currently staying at was a sanatorium before, and it looks like exactly the same. Except everything is very Western style with Sachiko, and as you notice here, I'm really excited because in Takako's side of it, it looks very Japanese, which is very accurate to what they were describing how it was renovated. So I'm wondering if Takako and Sachiko are somehow time-crossed lovers at this point, because heck if I know if that makes any sense. But anyway, we'll just jump right back into it, so let's get started. I woke up around noon on the day I had my fit. That was right, because the last time we saw her was the thunderstorm when she had her episode that was very similar to what Sachiko has. Both the headache and the ringing in my ears were gone without a trace. As I sat up, I spotted a familiar notebook resting on the dining table. Miyuko told me to stay the night in the duty room until she returned, so I killed some time by doing nothing in particular. After that, Miyuko brought me lunch and we ate together. It was udon and some tangerines. I wanted something more interesting. Yeah, okay. I remember this. Don't force yourself to eat everything if you aren't feeling hungry. Now here's the other thing. So, I actually remember it hit me here too, is that, remember, with Sachiko, we went back in time and we saw some pictures. She looks crazy familiar. As a matter of fact, she seems like Nanae's mom, if that makes any sense. Remember, she was wearing the kimono in the old picture. She wasn't, smiling too much, but, her sister, who goes by Lily, together they decided to buy the place and, turn it into something else. I'm wondering if this is her. I think we never heard her name. I don't remember hearing her name, but maybe we did and I'm just crazy, but it really looks like her. And if I'm right, then later she goes on to purchase this place probably when it goes under. I wonder if she does that out of a sense of liking the place, but also to continue taking care of the people who need help. So maybe Takako's still there? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, I'm so confused. Anyway, let me know if you think, well, if it's a spoiler, don't tell me. But that's my running theory right now. I think this is Nanae's mom. I think I'm okay. If anything, I feel like my appetite's gone up. Most of the other patients have trouble getting out of their beds the next day following a fit. It can even upset the life for them. With that in mind, I think it'd be better for you to have something light now, and maybe a bit more for dinner later. This was your first fit since coming here, right? I nodded. I have to read all of that now? I asked, pointing at the notebook on the table. I explained your condition a while back. Do you remember? I do. It was something that this place specialized in, fit-induced amnesia. I'd lose some of my memories with each new attack. Oh, that'd be really sad. It was a newly discovered disease that had yet to be even named. So in here, we just called it the condition. Ooh. Most patients tend to lose large chunks of memories, ranging from 1-month periods to an entire year, sometimes even more. But you never really forget things gradually, little by little, right? Right, you lose a whole set of memories right away, and that's it, Miyuko answered with a nod. As such, you can skim through the parts of the diary that you're sure you can remember. You'll spot bits you've forgotten right away. Although, if you're curious, you could read all of it as many times as you want. Well, I might have just forgotten a day or two that aren't even logged. I picked up the notebook. With that as her cue, Miyako stood up. I'll come check on you when I have some time off work. You're worrying too much. She is very sweet. Miyako slid her feet into slippers, gave me a quick smile, and left the room. Once I was sure she'd left, I heaved a brief sigh. Then I opened the diary. There were 3 notebooks in total, including the new one, which had only a few days recorded in it. One notebook encompassed about a year, which meant I had about 2 years worth recorded. Dang, she's been there a while. I turned to the first page, ran my eyes over the first entry written in my hand. Looking at my own writing was a little embarrassing. On the other hand, seeing my past self come to life on pages was quite exciting, so I read everything without skipping a single detail. By the time I got to the second month, though, I realized it was taking too long. After that, I started reading only every second or third entry. There were parts that I remembered well, and some that I had forgotten. I'd wake up, do some work, eat, take a bath, and go to sleep. It was pretty much that over and over again. I could only really keep track of entries that mentioned something unusual. As such, I continued through the notebook, reminiscing about my past. From time to time, I felt as though there was another me inside that notebook, and I was simply observing her from high above. At times like that, I felt like my past self wasn't really me at all. That's really interesting. That is kind of how memories are. We change, and so going through journals can be alien. Oh my gosh, some of my early journals are just a whole other world, man. Back in high school, the way I thought about things and processed things was so different from the way I perceive them now. I think that's normal, but still, it's fascinating. Maybe I should go and reread those again. I haven't read those in a while. It's funny, in my old studio, if you guys have ever looked back in my older videos, I used to have a bookshelf that was right over here, and that's actually where I kept my journals. Not entirely sure where they are now. I think they're just in storage until we get an actual bookshelf set up. Anyway, evening had come. Around the time my notebook's pages began to tint in orange, Miyako dropped by the room. Man, she must have been working all day. I was starting to get hungry, but when I asked her about it, she said that dinner would soon be ready. She also told me to try and bear a while longer, and only handed me a few candies to ease my immediate hunger. The rectangular-shaped candies came in wrappings of various different colors. I unwrapped the green one first and put it in my mouth, and did the same with the pink one. They both had about the same taste. Aw, that's kind of disappointing. This brings back memories. I think my grandmother used to give me candies just like these. Where did you get them, Miyako? Oh, well, that's her talking, sorry. I'm not gonna... yeah, let's do it. Let's do the line properly. I'm sorry. My terrible voice acting skills coming back into play. This brings back memories. I think my grandmother used to give me candies like these. Where did you get them, Miyako? I don't remember. I think I just bought them at the store. She meant the small privately owned store at the port. It's pretty interesting to see stores over here that don't belong to any chain. You don't see that kind of stuff much in the big city. Your grandmother must have brought candies from a store just like that. After some more talk, Miyako left the room to prepare dinner. When she came back, the sun had already set. I had finished reading the diary and was about to put some tea into the water I boiled for myself. Have you finished? Yeah, more or less. Did you spot any parts you've forgotten? It tilted my head a little. Not really. I mean, there were a few parts I could barely remember, but nothing to the extent where I would start suspecting my memories were gone. So there were no passages that felt completely new to you? No. I see. Does that mean that I didn't forget anything this time around? Miyako slowly shook her head. I doubt that. There are times when you feel you haven't forgotten anything, but it turns out to be just a short episode that wasn't really important. Or it was something you remember as you read your diary. In your case, I say it could be either of those possibilities. I see. Interesting, because that's true. It's like, memory is very odd and very interesting because the way our brains categorize stuff. I think I've talked about this before, but it goes through the hippocampus where your hippocampus is like a filing index where it like stores it references certain sensations and ties them to a specific idea.
So, I guess for example, when you bake bread, it smells a certain way. And if your mom bakes bread growing up, or your dad, or whoever, because like that's for me, my mom would bake bread for us when we were kids. And so now if I walk into a bread store, if they make something that's similar to what she made, and I catch that smell, and it makes me think of my mom's baked bread, because the memory and the smell are tied together. And that's the thing that's interesting. It's like, it's not like it's always my mom's baked bread whenever I smell that smell. I just associate it with those memories because that's how it's categorized in my hippocampus. So you can think of it as almost like a fragmented memory, or how we re-reference certain things at later dates. So while I'm remembering the scent of my mom's bread, I might not necessarily be remembering everything about it. Like, for instance, like, it's not like I'm sitting there thinking of a particular time when she baked bread. It's kind of all mushed together. And I confuse those types of smells, sensations, and memories and colors and such with other memories too. Like, if I hear a story about my grandmother baking bread, and my brain will probably construct a basic memory out of that from the memories I have. And that memory doesn't necessarily have to be real. If you hear a story enough, especially as a child, sometimes you can invent memories. Whether you dream it and you kind of categorize it as potentially being real since you've heard the story so many times, or you just convince yourself that it's real. Because of the nature of the way our memories are reconstructed, we can make up new memories. And that's why it can be kind of tough, especially if you like there's so many cases you hear about people who like undergo hypnosis, which allows you to reconstruct memories a lot more clearly because it kind of removes your suspension of belief and puts you in a relaxed state that allows you to access your memories a little bit more clearly. But at the same time, it also kind of destabilizes those memories. And so, if you have a counselor that's convinced that you've experienced trauma in your past, they found that there have been instances where people go into a counseling session having never remembered any form of trauma whatsoever, having found after a deep invasive investigation that there's likely no chance that there was ever any abuse of any kind in their past, but through hypnosis they can reconstruct a memory that they make up and can believe is real by the end of the session. It's very tough. Like, dealing with memory, human memory, is very difficult. It's also really difficult to get witnesses' testimonies of a crime because oftentimes crimes are so quick. And like, there's just so many consistent problems with witness testimonies. For instance, witnesses will almost always describe people as being taller than they actually are when they're committing a crime. Witnesses will often describe them will often describe a color that the person might not have actually been wearing, but might just be a prominent color that was in the area when the person was running away. They're also more likely to pick someone out of a lineup that was a villain of a recent TV show that they watched, rather than the actual criminal. So they watched, like, it's messed up. You got to be careful with memory. Anyway, sorry. The whole point of that. What was the whole point of that? The whole point of that was that this sounds, while I'm sure this is a medical condition that does cause amnesia, at the same time, there is still so much similar here to our own memories, and the fact that we routinely forget things all the time. Sometimes those memories can be brought back, but oftentimes we have to reconstruct them ourselves, and that can lead to some interesting twists in the way we remember things. I'm sure you're tired, Takako. I have your dinner ready. What did you make me tonight? You'll find out when you come to the cafeteria. I followed Mayuko out of the room. I made a little more extravagant than usual, so you can look forward to it. You remember, I'm not a fan of yam and vinegar, right? I hate those things, but Mayuko loved them. It wasn't to the extent I couldn't eat them, but they tended to come up a lot in dishes. Mayuko labeled them as delicious, so... Interesting. Yams and vinegar. That's an interesting couple things they not like. That pollock roe wasn't too bad when I forced myself to try it, but... This time, I made sure to fix something you'd definitely like. That's very kind of her. Our dinner tonight turned out to be hamburger steak and fried prawns. That sounds like a dish she would like. I pointed out to Mayuko that she might be treating me too much like a child, although I appreciated getting the extra portion of rice. The next day, my life returned to its usual rhythm. I woke up in the morning, exercised, did the work I was asked, ate, bathed, wrote in my diary, and slept. Nothing in my schedule changed much. Well, maybe except for the fact that I spent more time in the night duty room with Mayuko. It's not Mayuko, it's Mayuko. Mayuko. I keep saying Mayu because I think well maybe it is Mayuko. Like it just makes the ah sound. So Mayuko. Yeah, I'm putting a little English flair on it when I shouldn't be. What is this? The weather was great this morning. Warm sunlight entered my room through the window as the sound of radio calisthenics reverberated across the walls. Oh yeah, man, I needed to try this. Like just getting up and doing some basic stretches every day. I should. Aw, look at cute. My hand touched Mayuko's as I stretched out my chest. Trying to think of like another name I've read recently that has an A in it to make sure I'm saying it right. Yeah, it is so Mayuko. I'm gonna try. I just gotta be better, dang it. Takako. Yeah, why did I think Takako? Stupid. I'm stupid. Today she was exercising next to me. It suddenly got pretty cramped in here when we both extended our arms. Mayuko continued her exercise without minding me, so I tried turning a little so we wouldn't be in the same line. Before I realized it, though, she had already turned as well. Of course. It's nice to see you exercise once in a while. Mayuko wore a skirt, so she skipped most of the leg-related exercises that would have been too revealing. You should do this every day. Yeah, it reminds me of summer vacations back in elementary school. Did you have to do it for stamps too? Yes. When I was in my 6th year, I was actually the one doing the stamping. I did that too. I used my usual family name stamp, but the ones with the more complicated names get the priority treatment. The more strokes, the better. Names like that look cooler on paper anyway. The exercise ended with taking a deep breath, then my hands fall to my sides. Then I turned off the radio. Are you sure it's not just your imagination? I used my family name stamp too. I didn't feel like we were treated any different than anybody else. Your boobs have always been that big, haven't they? Sure. Let's go to the injustice of the boobage. Miyako remained silent until I turned around and our eyes met. I think that's just your imagination too. I think about it. I never managed to make it through all the exercises during my vacations. Did you get anything do you get anything if you end up with a perfect stamp record? No idea. Maybe they award you with a stationery or alarm clocks or something along those lines. I figured it'd be something like that. I sat down to bed. I remember this too. I remember pointing out that why would somebody who has perfect attendance to everything that they're doing need an alarm clock? Why an alarm clocks though? I get the part about stationery, but at our school, that was the prize for a perfect attendance record. Once again, same thing. Why would you give an alarm clock to someone who's clearly not having problems waking up? Is that really something a person with a perfect attendance record would need? Okay, here we go. So this is exactly what happened last time. I'm like it really is. So I remember it just hitting me that just seems a really silly gift to give to somebody who obviously didn't have problems getting up in the morning, and apparently I'm not the only one to think that. Thank you, Takako. Perhaps not. Mayuko smiled to herself. You're a pretty diligent one, though, Mayuko. How come you couldn't keep up a perfect attendance record for the radio exercises? Our family went to my grandparents' house for Obon. Most other families will go on trips during the summer, so getting that prize is not as easy as it sounds. Yeah. Mayuko picked up a small parcel from the shelves and held it in front of me. Look, I found this in the storage room on cleaning day. It was wrapped in a light brown craft paper and had the size and weight of a dictionary or a really thick book. Upon checking the other side, I realized it was addressed to me. Where exactly did you find this? In the storage room on the 2nd floor. You might have gotten there by accident when we were rearranging our belongings. It's not written from whom it's from. I think there's a book or something like that inside. This is some good paper. I hate to tear it open by hand. Could you maybe lend me a knife? Of course. Without getting up from the bed, I reached out and placed my parcel on the side table. After that, I returned to my previous position. I couldn't do that. I would be way too curious. I'd be like, I gotta know what's in there. I gotta know. Well then, let's do the laundry, said Mayuko. Mayuko. Takako. Mayuko. Tama. I had a real scary dream the other day. The morning sun filled the second floor corridor with its bright rays of light. Mayuko's silhouette flickered in between the lights coming from the window and the shadows covering the walls. What kind of dream was that? I can't remember it anymore. Mayuko picked up the laundry basket and her expression blank. I was helping with the laundry today, so I had a basket in my hand as well. I just remember it being really scary. Well, sometimes remembering dreams like that makes you realize they weren't that scary at all. Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not sure I can help you there. She turned to me, making the top sheets begin to slide off from her basket. Oh! I caught them with one hand. Nice catch. Will I get a golden glove for this, do you think? I wrapped the sheets around my hand and returned it to the basket. I clicked at that, sorry, but that she just returned it to the basket. Perhaps. But try not to get too crazy with the workout routine until you start feeling better. We continued down the corridor, its wooden floorboards creaking below our feet. I glanced out the window through the branches of the camphor tree and spotted a girl walking down a stone-paved path. Sanae? Mayuko looked out the window too. The girl momentarily disappeared among the branches blocking our sight, but then popped up again in front of the entrance to the building on the other side. Isn't that Kozuo? Kozuo disappeared into the West Wing building, her silky hair fluttering behind her. Maybe she went for a walk. I mean, the weather's pretty nice. It certainly is. And a great day for laundry, too. Mayuko resumed walking through the corridor. True enough. It was indeed a perfect day for laundry. So interesting. Like, it always seems like in, like, a lot of the things, like, I doubt it's, like, all the time, but a lot of times I see from media from Japan, like, a lot of people still hanging out their laundry. Is that still pretty common? I watched a guy do an apartment tour of his place in Tokyo, and he had, like, a really fancy tiny little bathroom. But I like the cool toilet, you know, because it's Japan, it's got cool toilets. But also had this, like, feature where it would, like, pull humidity, like a dehumidifier built into the room to help probably keep mold out. And he said he would use it to, like, he would hang his clothes up after they were washed so that they would be dried in there. You know, that there isn't, like, a drying machine, which is interesting because, like, I've always grown up with dryers. Like, except for my first house. My first house, like, when I was really little, my parents had a tiny little home where we had a washer, but we definitely didn't have a dryer. We had drying racks outside and would hang our clothes up and stuff. Like, so kind of got that a little bit, but is it just an uncommon thing in Japan? I don't know. Or like kind of like beds too, because like I don't know, how common are beds versus you know, the what are they called, comforters, like the floor mats that people sleep on. I don't know. I know that's more traditional, but like, is it still really common for like the average Japanese citizen to use those, or have they like started using beds more often? I just don't know. Anyway, gusts of wind swept across the roof, white sheets attached to the long iron bars fluttering in its wake. A dazzling blue sky extended all the way to the sea. A handful of few puddles littered the roof as the only remnants of the heavy rainfall we've been having lately. Well, aside from some dew on the tree leaves. Man, that looks nice. Please hold this side for me. Okay. I clasped one side of the sheet while Mayuko pinned the other to the iron bar. With that, our baskets were now empty. I guess we're done. Thank you for your help. This took a lot less time than I thought it would. Aside from a few smaller clouds that looked like torn up pieces of cotton drifting around, the sky was blue as far as the eye could see. I could feel a cool, somewhat moist breeze on my skin. When does your job start? Right after lunch. About 1 o'clock, I suppose. Then why don't we do some sunbathing until then? What? Right here? Yeah! Mayuko looked around the roof and then up to the sky. The white sheets fluttered in the wind in front of the blue background. The floor is still a little wet, though. Let's use the picnic sheet you got from your room. It is pretty warm today. I suppose we might as well. Sounds nice. Finding the driest area we could spread out a pink polyester sheet. By the way, I love this. But at the same time, I have terrible memories of this scene. Because when I was doing it, this scene had a corruption in it, and it took forever to fix. That's the worst thing when I was editing this last time, when I last recorded it. I had been working and editing it for probably 5 hours, like, just trying to get the video edited properly to, like, minimum basic, like, levels. And then I lost my hard drive. Of course, the glitches happened because of the hard drive failure, so I should have seen it coming, but it was really frustrating to lose after working on it for so long. And it's this scene that I both love and hate because of that. We took off our shoes and sat down. Mayuko looked at the sandwich, delicately wrapped in brown paper from the basket, and handed it to me. I undid the wrapping to realize it was made so I could eat without my hand coming in direct contact with the sandwich. Very nice. Especially if the sandwich dribbles a little bit, like where it's like going to start making a mess. I love having it in the paper like that. And especially when it's so expertly folded. Did you do the wrapping? It looks like something that could be sold in the store. It's easy. I can teach you how to do it later. Yeah, do that! The sandwich had some potato salad, 2 thinly sliced pieces of tomato, and some lettuce decorating the whole thing like laces. That sounds delicious. Hungry after all the work I did today, I quickly took a bite. Tastes great! No need to rush. I have a whole lot more where that came from. I love a potato salad sandwich. I've been making those since I was a little kid, but never that fancy. Mayuko pulled a pot and 2 teacups from the basket and filled them with black tea. Would you have preferred green tea? Nah, I'm fine with black. Today's tea was not bitter at all. It smelled like fruit. I placed the cup down and grabbed another sandwich from the box. This one had scrambled eggs, pieces of thinly sliced ham, and lettuce. Ooh. I've never had a sandwich like that before. The fresh lettuce perfectly complemented the soft texture of the ham and the eggs. I ended up gobbling up the whole thing down right away. It feels nice to see someone enjoy the food you make. Well, it's super delicious. I'm sure you'll be the popular one if you open a shop. That's a good idea. Mayuko made a happy smile. Yeah, I could be the owner. Oh, are you familiar with management? Sure am. Provided I get to eat food like this every day. Seems like a good trade-off. In that case, I'll think about it. The sea breeze ruffled my hair a bit. The waves of the blue sea gave way for waves of green as the trees across the entire mountain swayed in sync with the wind. I love that sound of like the wind kind of rushing through the leaves, where like it's not too windy for you, but you can hear it just kind of rushing through. It's so cool. I love the summer. I think I love the winter. Not winter. I love the fall the most before the leaves fall. Like, just the time of year is just—it's perfect. I'm glad I live somewhere with lots of trees now. I grew up under like a desert where we had like no trees, and now I live somewhere that has tons of trees, and I love it. It's so cool having trees in my own yard. I never knew how much that would mean to me growing up. Have you gotten used to the sanatorium, Takako? Yeah, more or less. It's full of beautiful sights. The meals are delicious, and best of all, there's a good-looking nurse with big boobs. Gosh, she's obsessed with those boobs. Holy crap. Mayuko looked down at her breasts. That's sexual harassment. I'm sorry. Don't sue me. Well, okay. I'll forgive you this one time. Thanks. Is something the matter? I gazed off into the distance while Mayuko interrupted me. Were you reminiscing about something? Not at all. I made a light smile. But I feel like this scenery was about to make me remember something. Something fun? Mayuko smiled as well. I reached out to the sandwich box to realize there was only one left. I paused and glanced at Mayuko. She nodded with a smile. Ooh, another sudden gust of cool wind blew past us. It's cold. We'll be having a snowball fight before long. Oh, snowfall, not snowball. It's like, snowfall before long. It will get colder and colder as it rains, so we won't have the picnics on the roof anymore. That's too bad. The conditions are rigid in the mountains. It might be boring for you, but it's best not to go outside during the winter if you don't have any pressing matters. Interesting. Oncoming winter. And if I remember correctly, in like the weird little like tips memories that we have, remember how cold like Sachiko's room would get? I wonder if like winter time is where we're going to start seeing like what's actually happening. Even after sunset, the gray clouds drifted along the sky away to the sea. The woodland stretching below the heavy clouds lost their once vivid color, making the scenery resemble an old monochrome photograph. Oh, hello. As I opened Sanae's door with a yawn, she looked up at me from her bed. Hello! Sanae closed the book she'd been holding in place and placed it on the bedside table. On the nearby table rested an unfinished lunch with a wrapping still on it. Are you not feeling well? Sanae laughed, lightly shook her head. I was too absorbed in my book to care about anything else. Are you alright? I heard you had an attack. I'm okay. It wasn't that bad this time. I sat down on the cane chair that had been left next to the bed. I could see some moisture accumulating on the wrap around the tray. On the other hand, the wooden dresser bowl next to it was empty. You seem to have eaten the coffee jelly. Though. Don't tell me it's what you came in here for. I turned to her and waved my hand. No, I just wanted to borrow a paper knife. And I was also curious about how you were doing. Give me a second. Sanae turned her body without breaking her sitting position and reached out to open the drawer of her side table. Same as always. Sanae handed me the paper knife she fished out of the drawer. I walked over to her and took the knife. That's good to hear. Is it? Yeah. I suppose you're right. Sanae also handed me a shawl that was lying on the bed. Thanks. I hung the shawl on the back seat of the cage chair and picked up the paper knife along with the other thing I'd brought. What is this partial-looking thing? Got it from Mayuko this morning. Apparently, it was sent to me. I have no idea what's inside until I open it up and see for myself. Oh, apparently my premium trial expires in 23 hours. I undid the straps and what the heck? No, come back. No. Okay. Are we okay? Did I just lose stuff? Oh, we didn't lose contact. Anyway, I undid the straps, checking the edge of the parcel. Finding the one that felt the softest, I pierced it with my newly gained knife. I pushed the knife all the way to the side, changing its angle. The craft paper had already fallen apart by the time I finished. It seems to get being a little jumpy. Let's see. Come on. It's not that hard. You don't have to be chugging. This game's not that taxing on your processing. Well, that was weird. I don't know. Like I got a little interruption message, and then the whole thing started to freak out, and then of course the game was like stuttering and being really wonky. So I don't know. I'm hoping I didn't lose anything. If you're watching this, then everything appears fine. So we'll just continue. We're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon anyway. So anyway, there's a white cardboard box inside. As I opened the lid and turned the thing upside down, a notebook fell out. Looks like a notebook, said Sanae. I realized it was a notebook because it looked just like the one I was using for my diary here. I inspected both its top and bottom. Its color had already begun to fade, which made it look older than any of my other notebooks. What's written in it? There was a date on the top of the first page with a bunch of text below it. It had the same design as our diaries. It looks like a diary to me. Wonder whom it might belong. I checked both the first and last pages but couldn't find a name. After I gave up and returned to the first page to read it, Sanae interrupted me. We don't know whose diary it is. It might have been some mistake. Or maybe it was better to ask Mayuko about it first. I guess you have a point. I placed the notebook on the table. My mind felt a bit cold, so I covered them with Sanae's shawl. What the heck? Cold. That seems to be an interesting connection. It felt like the temperature of Sanae's room had dropped compared to when I came in. I glanced at the window. It was now covered in dew. Fishy, fishy, fishy. I collected it all on my finger to form a droplet, which then fell down as soon as I moved my finger away. What are you doing? When I turned around, I saw Sanae laughing at me. Nothing really. I noticed some dew on the window, so I thought it might have grown up pretty cold outside. I pulled on my chair to spot more moisture, only to realize there was already something on the window glass. Parting the curtains revealed a drawing on the window dew-covered surface. Is this some kind of animal? I messed that one up. Sanae's face was ridden with guilt. I looked back at the glass again. Her drawing was quickly disappearing. In any case, my best guess was that it depicted some four-legged animal. Is this a cat? I was trying to draw a bear. I see. You might want to do this then. I placed a finger against the mouth of the drawing and slid it in the shape of a fish. Is that a fish? A salmon. You ought to see bears holding them in their jaws on pictures. Cats eat fish too. I'm not talking about okay, I don't know what that word is. I'm not talking about the sare here, okay? Anyway, if it doesn't look salmon-y enough, I can make its jaw a little longer. I breathed against the glass, making both the bear and the fish disappear. Aww. I'm sorry. I only wanted to erase the fish, but... well, it's no big deal. At any rate. The white on the window melted away like an iceberg in warm weather. And by the time it was gone, I left behind a pattern reminiscent of a face. Right. I had this really scary dream the other day, but I can't remember it. That's how most dreams are. I remember it just fine when I woke up. I thought I could use it to scare everyone, so I was planning not to forget it, but... maybe when you remember it, you'll realize it wasn't all that scary at all. Repeating. Mayuko said the same thing. Maybe I should prepare myself a pen and some paper next time to go to sleep. Sanae snickered to herself. Takako, trying to jot those things down is all well and good, but are you writing your diary after a fit, just like Miss Mayuko told you? I am. Just recently, I spent an entire day reading through all my notebooks I had to fill in. Jeez. Don't you want to write something down? You might forget it all after your next attack. I don't really have that much stuff to write about. Mayuko didn't comment on the state of my diaries, but I had a feeling that continuing to sum entire days in one sentence might piss her off. Oh, that reminds me. I know this one scary story about the sanatorium. Oh, wait, whoa. Who's talking? Who's talking? What kind of story? Okay, so Sanae is telling the story. Gosh darn it. Do you lock your room, Takako? That's ominous. No, I just can't be bothered. What about you? Well, you have a point. While it does feel somewhat pointless to lock our doors, the locks themselves were installed for a reason. Can you guess what the reason was? Not really. There were more people here in the past, so not everyone knew each other? I suppose it could be one explanation. However, what I've heard was the opposite. The doors that were there to prevent patients from leaving their rooms. So they wouldn't escape. You wouldn't suspect it now, but in the past there were apparently cases of patients going missing. The nurses began locking them in their rooms so they wouldn't try to escape and hide during the night. Great, now it's getting creepy. Why would they try to escape? Were the chores too hard for them or something? Apparently it was more related to their memories. Did you remember anything when you read your diary, Takako? There were a few parts I couldn't remember at all that well, but I feel like they're still within my healthy boundaries. They didn't use diaries in the past. They didn't even know the symptoms led to memory loss and were instead trying to treat them. Anyway, they didn't occupy themselves with their memories too much, and some of the patients ended up forgetting almost everything about themselves. You mean they became like amnesiacs? Sanane slightly tilted her head. As in, forgetting all your memories since birth? That's what you're thinking about, right? I nodded. Our symptoms are somewhat different, though. Ooh. First, you have to realize that your various memories and phenomena happening around you, as well as your feelings in response to said phenomena, are different things. In our case, we mostly lose the feeling part of our memories. We might vaguely remember what happened, but we don't remember how we felt about it. Anyway, that's the kind of memory loss we're dealing with. I more or less understood the difference from our explanation. So is the difference like where they might forget how they got to things or how things like meant to them or what they're associated with like emotionally, but they're not going to forget how to talk. They're not going to forget what a car is, you know, like that kind of stuff. Their memory of objects is going to remain. I gave her another few nods. But what of it? If you can remember the facts of your past, you won't forget how to read or write or any other skills you need to survive in the world. Anyway, the ultimate endpoint of our condition is that when we lose our individuality, our personalities, if you will, we lose interest in what we used to like and forget what we hated. That's the extent of what I was told about. To give an example, imagine reading a book and understanding what's going on, but not feeling anything about it. Or having a meal and understanding its taste, but being unable to decide whether or not it's delicious. That would suck. I think the symptoms had a name, but I've already forgotten. I think it was memory loss something. I briefly pondered what she just told me and realized that her story was about locks hadn't been finished yet. I got to the part about our condition, but what does it have to... I got the part about our condition. What does that have to do with our locks? That's right. Anyway, one of the early patients who displayed this memory lost something, went missing apparently. They couldn't find them no matter where they looked. Everyone from the nurses to the town militia searched all over the mountain but found nothing. At the time, they even thought that the person may have been spirited away. On top of it, Sanae went on with an emphasized tone. Well, look at that. They're all silhouettes of characters. Like, there's a little girl from the library. There's like, interesting. Different outfit, but that looks a lot like the nurse. And then back there, who's that? I don't know who that is. And then the person up here looked like Takako. If it ended there, it probably wouldn't have become that big of a thing. But sometime later, another patient disappeared the exact same way. Did that patient have the same symptoms too? Yes. Anyway, we finally reached the part about the locks. After the second case, the sanatorium added locks to the rooms of every patient to prevent any similar cases from cropping up. At the time, you couldn't unlock the rooms from the inside, and the sanatorium staff had complete control over who would leave their rooms and when. And did that help? Sanae shook her head. Ooh. From what I've heard, people continue to go missing even after that. See, that to me would make me very, very suspicious of the staff. Patients that were confined to be in their rooms before bedtime disappeared by morning. Didn't they just climb out the window or something? The windows were locked too, and there were no signs of locks being broken either. They all vanished like a wisp of smoke. Well, it's not like people could actually do that, though. Everyone felt the same way, of course, but no matter how much they searched, they couldn't find a single trace of the missing patients. The only thing they understood was that the patients who had forgotten all about themselves and lost their personalities would eventually disappear. Interesting. I tried to more or less summarize Sanae's story in my mind. Patients didn't use diaries in the past. As their symptoms of memory loss grew worse, they forgot who they were. Finally, they disappeared without a trace. The story was peculiar, but then again, so was the sanatorium. I'd never heard about this kind of sickness before. Besides, patients here had jobs and duties, despite this being a sanatorium supposedly meant for relaxation. Okay, wait. The patients had jobs? Oh, she means like the chores that they do. Well, the part about work was possibly because Mayuko was the only nurse on the grounds and couldn't manage everything by herself, but still, it was kind of weird that there were no doctors here, for example. I didn't think too much about it before, but it was peculiar for sure. I remember that odd feeling I had when I was cleaning the storage room. Maybe this place still hid some unknown secrets. Probably. Good grief. Anyway, that's just a rumor, though. It was pretty interesting. Still, the part about people just disappearing didn't make much sense. Well, that's just how rumors are. But then again, most rumors are also a bit of truth mixed into them, no? If you're curious, you could always try it yourself. I mean, if you were complaining that writing in your diary was a pain in the neck. Is that what it all comes down to? Sanai snickered to herself. Like, do your homework, children. It's a kind of story. Like, Okay. I said my goodbyes to Sanai and left the room. And I think that's where we're going to end for today. Hopefully the recording worked out well. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your patience. Unfortunately, you guys had to wait 2 weeks because I lost the original episode and I took the week off to try and get everything back in order on my channel. But hey, we're back. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to finish this darn game and figure out what the heck's going on. I can't not finish this at this point, right? But I appreciate everything you guys say. Starting from now, I do want to do comment highlights as well. I was thinking about doing it for this episode, but it's been so long and the context might have been so lost. I'm going to just wait for now. I also don't, well, this isn't like my most active series, so like don't feel pressure. It's just one of those things I hope to do. Like, if you guys leave an interesting comment, I want to share it with everyone else and kind of, you know, continue the conversation after the video's like over, you know. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys being around today. I love you guys for being here and spending your time with me. It means so much to me. I appreciate every second you spend. So until the next video you watch with me or whatever you see me in next, I'll see you there.